Okay, Julian Harris, thank you so much for spending a few minutes with me today. One of the things that I really enjoy about being the productivity coach is watching some of our partners and our clients, start here and then take some serious growth steps. You are one of the people who I'm super grateful for to be in partnership with you. You were one of the first people to enroll in productivity coaching, basically right as COVID was starting a year and a half ago. So I want to just express my gratitude publicly to you for that. I feel like we have built together, I mean, primarily you, but together, quite an impressive real estate business. You are a capper at our market center now. You have started to teach some classes and are certainly looked upon in our group as a successful agent, right? Somebody who's offering advice and making recommendations and suggestions, and always has some great answers to share. So first off, congratulations on a great year. Congratulations on your transactions and the growth of your business. And today, what I'd like to do is just really kind of highlight a couple of really important points that I see from being in relationship with you. But first, tell us a little bit about how Julian Harris came to the Roswell Keller Williams office. What kind of work did you do previously?
Well, thank you very much for inviting me today. It's been my pleasure to be in PC this entire time. So I grew up in North Carolina, graduated from the University of North Carolina and moved to Atlanta, went to law school. Then I joined the Air Force. I flew B-52s for 5 years.
Wow.
Got out and my wife started, she got a job. We moved back to Atlanta and my wife got a job at a new home sales company and started making more money than me. So I immediately transferred over. I was working very hard and she was going to work at lunch. So that was attractive. So did that, went into a few builders doing that, climbed up to some bigger builders, Bovis Brunning, which was a neat thing. And later on, I went into the building business, started building homes, developing subdivisions, back into the building or into the new home sales business with Lennar for 7 years. Got out of that, started my own firm, construction company, did that for 13 half years. And then with the crash, it seemed like a good time to switch careers again. So I got into real estate. I was always working for the builder. So this time I wanted to go solo, try the solo route there, and enjoyed it very much. Went with Duffy for 3 years in their listing department, and which is a specialized operation there. And then came and joined Joe and Curtin's fabulous team there for 6 months as an ISA, and then went solo from there. So it's just, and then I joined PC because, I just saw some of the top performers in your market center and others around the country. And even you and, everybody is in coaching. So love it. I mean, I thought that's really the way to go.
So I would say there's probably, we talked about this a second ago. I'd say there's probably two things that I have noticed about you that I believe to be very much in line with your degree of success, right? And I believe that's the habit of consistency, right? And your commitment to lead generation. So can you just speak to those two things? Because every single time I see you and we do a session like this, you are in the same spot, right? That is your workstation. And I say all the time, right? If people would just treat their real estate business like a job, they will annihilate this business. But if they treat it like a habit, they'll be lucky for it to pay you like a habit. So how did you either know, or where was the turning point where you decided that I am going to commit every single day to finding people in my community that need my help, right? So how did you develop the commitment to lead gen, and then give us a tip or two on how you've remained consistent in that?
Well, it really started back with Melba and Ignite. I mean, she preached, she said 2 or 3 hours a day. That's really the secret to that. And almost everybody echoes that through the company. and it's really true. And I'm not as consistent as I'd like to be. So, but I believe that consistency is very, very important with everything, your business and lead gen is very important. So I learned that you had to narrow down some of the legs, three sources of lead gen or something like that, be more specialized and to grow in that thing. So I chose, because I'd worked for Joanne in the ISA, I was familiar with Vulcan 7 and expires for sell-by owners, you know, those type of things. So I kind of liked it. I love talking with people. So that's, you know, that's kind of fun for me. So not that I love doing the calls, but and you cannot let no bother you. You just have to just smile and go on, because it's not a personal note to you. It's just whatever. You've got to plug in and tap something in their life to get a lead. So, and I'm guilty as anybody else. You get a listing, or you get busy, and then you wane off that a little bit. You just have to get back to it and get it on your calendar and do it.
Yeah, I always say you have two jobs. Your first job is 2 to 3 hours per day, and that is finding business. Your other job is, let's say, 5 to 6 hours a day, assuming you're going to give it an 8-hour day, 5 to 6 hours a day of managing and meeting with all the people that you create opportunities for, and basically controlling all the chaos that you've created during those other 2 hours. Right. And when you get to a point where you can no longer service all of the opportunities that you've created in that, let's say, 6 hours, the biggest mistake a lot of agents will make is they'll start creeping into the 2-hour pie or the 2-hour slot, when in reality, what they should do is go create another 2-hour slot, right, to make sure that this is undisturbed. And when, instead of working, let's say, going from working 8 hours to 10 hours, they need to examine the 8 hours and say, what stuff in here do I either not like doing, or should I not be messing with, right? Contract to close, taking pictures, any of the more administrative marketing stuff. Let somebody else do that stuff, and then you won't have to go disturb your lead gen time. And it's every time I speak to you, it's, hey, I got one more thing signed. Hey, I met 3 more people. So tell us a little bit about how have you had the patience and the kind of willingness to deal with all the follow-up and all the kind of highs and lows of people's lives when sometimes you get an opportunity that you were not expecting, and sometimes you don't get an opportunity that you thought was a slam dunk. How do you deal with that kind of? How do you deal with that? How do you stay focused, and how do you stay patient?
I think Command offers us a tremendous opportunity to keep a database that is just second to none. My memory is very short, and if I didn't have that database to bring me back to what that in the pipeline, I think are your two most important things. So if you know who you've got to keep track of your pipeline, because those are the clients that are most likely to be clients. And then the 36 touch in Command is, that's very important. So as you know, I was working back through my database and tagging like Mets and not Mets, that type of thing to facilitate that. So that's been very important. It tells you automatically who you need to call today, which is fantastic. Right. So I was doing it yesterday. And I do it every day, sometimes a little bit on Saturday, sometimes a little bit Sunday. Sometimes I'll spend an hour or two at night calling just to shake it up to get a hold of these people.
Yeah, like if you got let's say like a surgeon or something, or a teacher, or a judge or something like that in your database, and all you do is call people from 9 to 11, you will literally never get them.
Right.
Right. So you have to switch it up. You got to call them on the weekend, perhaps. You got to send them a text after hours or something, right? Or they will just never hear from you.
So that's very important. Remember, just keep trying. Just keep trying. I've talked to one of the people on the calendar yesterday. I forgot even who she was, and realized I'd started almost getting her as a client, but we just disconnected because she wouldn't move forward too much. So I let her sit. So now she's back to it. She's narrowed it down to the county she wants to do. She's going to be building a personal care home, and she wants me to check the zoning, this type of thing. So anyway, I'll probably get her signed right away too, maybe this weekend.
You know, what they say with that the for sale by owner will ultimately hire, assuming they hire an agent, they will hire the person that was the most helpful and the most consistent, right? And I believe that
That's
to be true for all prospects. I believe, I mean, I can't tell you how many times in my career I've had somebody to say, hey, you know, I'm going to give you the business. And the reason why I'm going to give you the business is because you've called me 6 times a year for the last 9 years, and you have not given up on me. And you must have some type of system in place where that doesn't slip through the cracks. And that's the kind of person I want to work for or work with.
and you guys have portrayed that the whole way. Just keep at it. When I first started doing this, it was very difficult to get on tune, like come from caring and all this stuff, and just figure out that's really what it is. You can't.
Oh.
It's not like that. You've got to become acquainted, care about their needs, focus on their needs, and make it about them. And after it took a while, but I was nervous about calling them or whatever. But now it's very true, because I did care about the people and solve their problems. I look at it from a problem solving nature. So I think that's really the way to do it. And it's just simple as all get out when you do that.
Yeah, it's every phone conversation is about only a few things. It's about getting data, updating data, fishing for a problem, right? Fishing for something that's going on in their world they could use some help with. Help them, even if it's got nothing to do with real estate, right? You need a new orthodontist? Cool, I got you. You need an introduction to a CPA? I can help you with that too, right? You need to know where your voting location is? I got you. Well, it doesn't have anything to do with real estate. Doesn't matter. I help people in town. That's what I do. Right.
And that's so true.
If you come from that place, when they have a real estate need, they will be calling you, because you're going to train your people to say, well, I don't make any real estate decisions without speaking to my agent, Julian Harris, before I make that decision. That's just my standard. Right. And so if they're going to refinance or move or rent or invest in something, whatever, they don't do it without calling you. That's the whole point. All right, beautiful. So 2 more questions. The first is, hopefully the listeners to this video here will be kind of a mixture of brand new people. There'll also be likely some top producers and some people that are on teams or own teams. What advice do you have for agents to make sure that they're reaching their potential? How does somebody reach their potential in this business?
Well, the culture in Keller Williams is just unbelievable. Nothing like I've seen before in my entire career. But the top leaders in our offices, I mean, they give these. I go to the classes and things like that. And I was one last week with Dustin, and I mean, they just knock it dead. And it's such an inspiration to me to see the fundamentals come right out in them, and they are just spectacular. Joanne, just all, everybody out there is just really impressive and helpful. And so it's a winning combination for this team.
That. And oftentimes the top producers are the ones that are even more focused on the fundamentals.
I agree.
Right. It's interesting. Like when Dustin, for example, is doing the listing presentation classes, part of his routine, if you will, is to kind of pace the hallways and kind of mumble to himself the script to get him in the moment, so that he can go into the training room and do his thing. Right. So my office is right there. I see it all the time. And I'm sitting here thinking hey, this guy's gone on literally hundreds, if not thousands of listing appointments, but he's committed to the fundamentals. Right. And he is a serious player, right? He wakes up every day and goes and does his thing. And many people might look at that and say, that looks boring to me. It may be boring, but that's what successful people do, is they nail the fundamentals. So commitment and habits and showing up at your workstation every day and reaching out to people in a number of ways, that is the fundamentals. And you're a testament to the fact that it is working. It is working. What can we expect from Julian Harris, let's say in the next year or 2 years? What's on the horizon for you? What is your short-term goal here?
I've given that some thought. Honestly, you have these systems that really need to be put together and cemented. And that's my goal next 6 months, maybe really have those things looking backwards that they're completely done and it's self-perpetuating. And I think I could grow from that. But I enjoy this. So, you know, it's just fun. So
It doesn't feel like work.
Doesn't feel like work. So if you're enjoying what you're doing, it's not like work. So
Yeah.
and I'm a workaholic. I had when I sold my construction business a few years back, I took a couple years off and just sort of, and I couldn't stand it. I had to be busy. So I learned that that's not a avenue for me. So anyway, I would like to have a team and go after it for what years I have available to me.
I love that. I love that. I love hearing your passion for the business. I know you to be very much a learning-based person. A number of opportunities have come your way that are not kind of run-of-the-mill opportunities, and you've sought out advice from those that have you know, some more experience, and myself included, and I appreciate that. And I can tell that, you know, being learning-based is a big deal, and it's certainly been a factor in your success. So I just want to thank you again for obviously for your time today. It has really been a pleasure to be your partner over the last year and a half, and hopefully we get a chance to continue working together as you are helping more families and scaling your business and having larger income. And I'm super excited for all the impact you're going to make at our market center and our productivity coaching group as well. Any final thoughts, any final words that you'd like to share?
Just love being a part of the Keller Williams culture and the team there in Roswell. It's just fabulous. The people are just couldn't be better. The expertise, the professionalism, it's just an inspiration. So, I mean, the education, I love learn the meetings, the Zoom calls, the videos that are available to me. Even PC has just a wealth of unbelievable. I was telling Rick, I sort of mentor Rick over on the other market center. And I said, look, have you seen these videos? No. I said, I suggest you watch these videos because they're very, you know, you can stop them and check it out and continue on and just learn. Yeah,
right. And say, hey, Bill, you did a video on March 17th of 2020. And in minute 17, you said this. Can you help me understand why you said that? Right.
Exactly.
I mean, that is the sign of a learning-based professional.
Right. So
and
those are resources.
Those that are willing to do it will have one set of results, and those that are not willing to do it will probably have a different set of results.
There's no shortage of learning at Keller Williams. I mean, there's so much resource you can take advantage of. And I've got to say the MMO that you guys pay for I mean, that is so powerful. That's given me, someone that didn't know the market that great, a real powerful command of the market and what homes should sell for and pricing homes. I now feel very confident in nailing these prices. I'm after one guy at Country Club of South. He's got a $2.5 million home, and he's been trying to sell it for years and years. I go, you know, at the same time every other week. You know, hi, how's it going? Still for sale by owner. Still priced at $2.5 million. We're only $500,000 high here. So you know, want me to come by?
I'll see
we
you
still
next
plan to
week,
move downtown. So I get tough with some of these guys that are just hard-headed.
Well, sometimes there's only so much that you can share with them if they're not in a place to receive it. And that's one of the great parts about MMO, which is the monthly market overview, and Chartmasters, is it's third-party data, right? It is not me saying something and you thinking it's manipulative so I can get the business or something like that. It is, look, I'm actually on your team here. And this is data that we have access to. And so why don't we all get together and make a decision that makes the most sense for your family, right? If it's you don't want to list today, okay, whatever. I'm going to be in business in next year too, right? So, you know, we can't make somebody buy a home if they don't want to buy it or sell a home if they don't want to sell it. But that's not our job. Our job is to deliver the information, right?
It's a powerful tool. Use it.
Yeah, awesome. Julian, thank you so much for your time today.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Pleasure to work together, and I'm very grateful for your contributions in the group and contributions at the Market Center. We'll see you soon. Okay.
Take care, sir.
All right.
Bye-bye.